In the golden embrace of an August evening in 2024, Buckingham Palace stood as a timeless emblem of tradition, its honeyed stonework glowing under a sunset that painted the London sky in hues of amber and rose. The distant chime of Westminster's bells mingling with the lively hum of tourists. The palace grounds were a vibrant tapestry of joy, filled with the laughter of children waving Union Jacks, the click of cameras capturing the changing of the guard, and the scent of blooming roses carried on a warm breeze. Amid this festive scene, Sergeant David Ellis, a royal guard, stood at his post, his scarlet tunic a vivid contrast to the grey stone, his bearskin cap casting a shadow over a face etched with resolve and compassion. His rifle rested steady, but his sharp brown eyes scanned the crowd with a vigilance honed by years of service and a heart shaped by his mother's lessons in kindness. Then a cry for help. A young girl's desperate plea. "He's not my dad," shattered the evening's cheer, prompting Ellis to break centuries of protocol in a bold act that stunned the world. For those of you who felt the pull of compassion, the instinct to protect the vulnerable, regardless of their background, or the courage to act when rules demand silence, the Royal Guards are more than ceremonial figures. They're a symbol of humanity, as enduring as the values you've cherished through years of care. Like the memory of a selfless deed, the warmth of helping a stranger, or the resolve to stand for unity in a divided world. Why did Ellis risk his post to save a child in danger? Subscribe now to uncover the truth behind his compassion, and join us in celebrating stories of unity that ripple far beyond the palace gates, inspiring hearts across the globe. Sergeant David Ellis was a man of quiet strength, his lean frame and steady hands carrying the weight of 7 years in the British Army. From peacekeeping missions in Kosovo to community outreach in London's diverse boroughs. At Vitine, his boyish features, framed by dark hair beneath his bearskin cap, belied the depth of his experience, calming tensions in war-torn villages, mentoring youth in Brixton, and building trust across cultural divides. Born in a modest flat in Peckham to a single mother, Gloria, a nurse who cared for all her patients, regardless of their origins. Ellis learned early to see beyond differences. Gloria's stories of helping neighbors, Jamaican, Pakistani, Polish, taught him that kindness knows no color. A lesson sealed one evening when she bandaged a stranger's wound in their kitchen. Her smile warm. "We protect all. David, always." That mantra drove Ellis to join the army at 22, his service earning him a commendation for community work, a certificate tucked away in his barracks, its words less vital than the lives he touched. His scarlet tunic and towering bearskin marked him as a royal guard. But beneath the ceremonial garb was a man whose heart beat for inclusion, whose goal, see the unseen, reflected his mother's teachings and his own resolve to serve everyone, no matter their skin or story. To you, who've embraced unity, perhaps aiding a neighbor from a different background, standing up for a stranger, or teaching a child to see beyond color, Ellis's compassion might echo a moment when your heart led you to act, when kindness became a bridge across divides, when you saw the unseen and made them feel valued. That August evening, Buckingham Palace was a kaleidoscope of life, its forecourt alive with tourists from every corner of the world. Japanese families snapping photos, Brazilian students waving flags, British pensioners sharing tales of royal visits. The air buzzed with laughter, the chatter of guides recounting palace history, and the occasional coo of pigeons scattering underfoot. Children in bright jackets chased each other, their giggles mingling with the scent of polish from the guards' boots and the faint sweetness of nearby flower beds. Ellis stood at his post near the Victoria Memorial, his body still as protocol demanded, motionless, silent, a living statue of tradition. But his mind was alert, his eyes sweeping the crowd with a vigilance honed in Kosovo, where he'd learned to spot fear in a glance, to read danger in a posture. In 2002, he'd comforted a young refugee, Amira, in a Pristina camp, her trembling hands clutching his as he promised safety. That memory steadied him now, a reminder to look beyond the pomp. His gaze settled on a girl standing apart from the joyful crowd, her small form tense beside a man whose grip on her arm seemed too tight, her presence a quiet discord in the evening's harmony. She was about then, her dark skin glowing under the sunset, her braided hair adorned with colorful beads, her yellow dress neat, but her posture rigid, as if braced against a storm. Aisha, he'd later learn her name, stood beside a man, Richard Holt, whose sharp suit and forced smile contrasted with the hardness in his eyes. Holt's hand clasped Aisha's arm, his fingers digging in, his body angled to shield her from view, as if guarding a secret. Aisha's brown eyes were wide, her lips trembling, her gaze darting with fear, until it locked onto Alice's scarlet tunic, a beacon of hope in her silent panic. Something was wrong. A gut instinct Alice trusted, forged in moments when hesitation could cost lives. When Aisha reached for a dropped hair tie, her sleeve slipped, revealing purple bruises on her arm, finger-shaped marks, stark against her dark skin. A silent scream of harm. Holt leaned close, his whisper harsh, audible to Alice's trained ears. "Stay quiet, or you'll regret it." Aisha's voice, small but piercing, broke through the crowd's noise. "He's not my dad." The words hit Alice like a gunshot, his heart lurching, his duty clearer than any protocol etched in centuries of royal tradition. For you, who've sensed danger, perhaps noticing a child's fear in a park, a stranger's control in a crowd, or a situation that screamed wrong, Alice's alertness might recall a moment when your instincts flared, when the world slowed and your heart demanded action, when silence was no longer an option. Holt's grip tightened, his smile a brittle mask as Aisha's plea lingered, her eyes pleading with Alice, her body shrinking under the man's control. Protocol demanded. Stillness, stand firm. Speak not, engage only, in extremis. But Aisha's cry, her bruises, her fear, were a call Alice couldn't ignore. He recalled Amira in Kosovo, her whispered, "Help me," as he led her to safety, and knew Aisha's plea was the same, a signal that transcended rules. The crowd, oblivious, continued their chatter, their phones trained on the palace. But Ellis saw, his resolve hardening. He acted, his decision swift, his body moving with the grace of a soldier trained in crisis. He set his rifle down, its clatter echoing against the palace stone, a sound that silenced the crowd's murmurs and drew every eye. He vaulted the low barrier, his bearskin cap steady, his scarlet tunic a blur of motion that cut through the sunset's glow. The tourists gasped, their phones rising, their voices a mix of shock and awe. "He's moving." Is that allowed? What's happening? Ellis crossed the forecourt in long, purposeful strides, his eyes locked on Aisha, his voice calm but commanding. "Let her go." Holt hesitated, his grip tightening, his voice sharp. "She's with me. Officer, mind your business." But Aisha's cry, "He's not my dad," rang again, her small body pulling away. Ellis stepped between them, his hand gentle on Aisha's shoulder, his other arm restraining Holt, his presence a fortress of protection. "You're safe now," he told Aisha, his tone soft, his eyes never leaving Holt's. Memories surged. Kosovo. Amira's hand in his, her mother's tears of gratitude, a weight he carried now as Aisha clung to him, her sobs muffled against his tunic. "For you, who've acted for the vulnerable, perhaps shielding a child from harm, confronting a threat, or stepping in when others looked away." Alice's courage might mirror a moment when you became a refuge, when your heart answered a silent plea with action. The crowd erupted, their phones capturing every second, the moment unfolding like a scene from a film. Videos spread across X like wildfire, clips titled, "God Saves Girl," "An Hero in Scarlet," Trending within minutes. Hashtags Courage Unites. Protect all. Lighting up feeds from London's cafes to Lagos's markets. A tourist, Mrs. Clara Thompson, Adesidu, stood among the crowd, her floral scarf bright, her eyes wet with pride. He saw her fear. She told a nearby reporter, her voice carrying to other tourists, her nod a beacon of approval. But some whispered dissent. He broke protocol. Guards don't move. Holt struggled, his voice rising. This is a mistake. But Ellis held firm, his grip steady, his eyes unyielding. Palace security officer Captain Michael Henshaw arrived, his boots clicking on the gravel, his radio crackling. Child welfare issue, Mindgate. Police en route. Henshaw, a 40-year-old veteran who'd served with Ellis, assessed the scene. His nod brief but clear. You did right. David. Police arrived swiftly, their presence discreet to avoid alarming the crowd. Officers approaching with calm authority, their questions sharp. Sir, your relationship to the child. Holt's story unraveled. He was Richard Holt, a trafficker posing as Aisha's guardian, his control rooted in threats, his network exposed by Aisha's courage and Ellis's action. Aisha clung to Ellis, her tears falling, her whisper barely audible. Thank you, Sie. Ellis knelt, his bare skin towering, his voice soft, the same tone he'd used with Amira. You're safe now. Aisha, we've got you, for you, who faced consequences for doing right. Perhaps risking a job to help someone, defying rules for justice, or standing firm under scrutiny. Ellis's resolve might recall a moment when a child's safety was worth any cost. When compassion was your only protocol, the videos went viral. X elite with post. A guard's compassion unites us. And he saw beyond color. Comments flooded in. Risked his post for a black girl he didn't know. This is what guards should be. Proud to be British, a Lagos student tweeted, he saved Aisha like she was his own. A Toronto teacher wrote, showing my class this kindness has no borders. The footage, vivid, in the sunset's glow, showed Ellis's leap, his gentle shield over Aisha. The crowd's cheers, Mrs. Thompson's nod. Aisha was taken to safety. Her foster family arranged by social services. Her new home in Camden filled with love. Her foster mother, Rachel, sent Ellis a letter. Aisha's drawing of a guard in scarlet attached. Dear Sergeant Ellis, you gave us our daughter. Aisha says you're her hero. Forever grateful. Rachel. Ellis read it in his barracks. His tunic folded, his heart swelling, the bearskin cap, a silent witness. The palace reviewed his actions. A board of officers convened, their questions stern. Why break protocol? Ellis stood firm, his voice steady. I do it again. She needed me. Captain Henshaw testified. He saved a life. That's our true duty. Ellis faced a formal reprimand, but was spared dismissal. His act deemed exceptional. His post restored after training. Aisha's smile, in her drawing, was his true commendation. The public's response was a tidal wave. Letters pouring into the palace, envelopes from Cornwall to Cardiff. Their words a chorus of gratitude. A Birmingham school sent a card. Its cover a child sketch of Ellis and Aisha. Thank you in glitter. A Kosovo veteran wrote, served with you in 20. Your heart saved her, like you saved us. A London foster carer shared, my boy was like Aisha. Your story gives us hope. Ex-posts grew, with Courage Unites joined by Protect All. Users sharing stories. Helped a scared kid at the park because of Ellis. A Manchester dad wrote, trained my staff to spot danger. Thanks to him. A Bristol social worker posted a campaign. Protect All, launched with charities. Its posters at schools and stations, showing a guard silhouette and the words, see the fear, act with heart. Ellis spoke at its launch in a London community centre. His tunic bright, his voice steady. Aisha's cry was a call we can't ignore. Protect all, always. The crowd cheered, their signs reading, thank you. David, their support fueling the campaign's spread. A plaque, David Ellis Gate. was unveiled at the palace, its bronze gleaming, its inscription simple. For Sergeant David Ellis, guardian of compassion, murals appeared in Brixton, a vibrant depiction of Elise and Aisha, hand in hand. In Lagos, Aguard in scarlet, unity in bold. Aisha thrived, her laughter filling her new home, her drawings a testament to Alice's impact. In the radiant glow of an August evening in 2024, Buckingham Palace stood as a majestic emblem of British tradition, its golden stonework bathed in the soft hues of a sunset that painted the London sky with strokes of amber, rose, and violet, the distant chime of Westminster's bells weaving through the air like a sacred melody. The palace forecourt buzzed with vibrant life, a kaleidoscope of joy, woven from the laughter of children, waving miniature Union Jacks, the click of tourist cameras capturing the grandeur, and the sweet scent of blooming roses carried on a warm summer breeze. Amid this festive tapestry, Sergeant David Ellis, a royal guard, stood resolute at his post near the Victoria Memorial, his scarlet tunic a striking contrast against the weathered grey stone, his towering bearskin cap casting a shadow over a face etched with quiet resolve and deep compassion. His rifle rested steady in his gloved hands, but his sharp brown eyes, framed by faint lines of care, scanned the crowd with a vigilance honed by years of service and a heart shaped by his mother's lessons in unconditional kindness. Then, a desperate cry, a young girl's voice, "He's not my dad," pierced the evening's cheer, shattering the harmony and prompting Ellis to break centuries of royal protocol in a bold, compassionate act that stunned the world and redefined the meaning of duty. For those of you who felt the urgent pull of compassion, the instinct to protect the vulnerable regardless of their background, or the courage to act when rigid rules demand silence, the Royal Guards are more than ceremonial figures in scarlet and bearskin. They're a living symbol of humanity, as enduring as the values you've cherished through years of care, like the memory of a selfless deed that changed a life, the warmth of helping a stranger in need, or the unwavering resolve to stand for unity in a world too often divided. Why did Ellis risk his post, his career, to save a child in danger? Subscribe now to uncover the truth behind his extraordinary compassion, and join us in celebrating stories of unity and courage that ripple far beyond the palace gates, inspiring hearts from the streets of London to the farthest corners of the globe. Sergeant David Ellis was a man of quiet, unyielding strength. His lean frame and steady hands bearing the unseen weight of 7 years in the British Army. From the tense streets of Kosovo during peacekeeping missions to the vibrant, diverse boroughs of London, where he led community outreach programs to bridge cultural divides. At Vitini, his boyish features, framed by close-cropped dark hair just visible beneath his bearskin cap, belied the depth of his experience, calming riots in Pristina with measured words, mentoring at-risk youth in Brixton with patient guidance, and building trust in communities fractured by mistrust. Born in a modest council flat in Peckham, South London, to a single mother, Gloria Ellis, a nurse who cared for her patients with a fierce, impartial love, David grew up surrounded by the rich tapestry of London's multiculturalism. Gloria's stories of helping neighbors, Jamaican elders, Pakistani shopkeepers, Polish cleaners taught him that kindness transcends color, creed, or class. One vivid memory, etched in his heart, was an evening when Gloria bandaged a stranger's wound in their cramped kitchen, her hands steady, her smile warm as she said, "We protect all. David, always. That's what makes us human." That lesson became his North Star, guiding him to enlist in the army at 22, where his service earned him a quiet commendation for community work in 2022, a certificate tucked away in his barracks locker, its words less meaningful than the lives he touched. A refugee's gratitude, a teenager's hope, a community's trust. His scarlet tunic and towering bearskin cap marked him as a royal guard, a role he took on with pride in 2023. But beneath the ceremonial splendor was a soldier whose heart beat for inclusion, whose personal mantra, see the unseen, reflected his mother's teachings and his own resolve to serve every soul, no matter their story or skin. To you, who've embraced unity in your own life, perhaps aiding a neighbor from a different culture, standing up for a stranger in a moment of need, or teaching a child to look beyond differences. Alice's compassion might resonate, recalling a moment when your heart led you to act, when kindness became a bridge across divides, when you saw the unseen and made them feel valued, loved, and safe. That August evening, Buckingham Palace was a living mosaic of global humanity, its forecourt thrumming with tourists from every corner of the world. Japanese families posing for selfies against the palace's ornate gates. Brazilian students waving colorful flags. British pensioners from Yorkshire sharing nostalgic tales of past royal visits, their accents warm and lilting. The air was alive with the chatter of tour guides, recounting the palace's history. The giggles of children in bright jackets chasing pigeons across the gravel, and the occasional coo of those pigeons scattering underfoot, their wings catching the fading light. The scent of polished brass from the guards' uniforms mingled with the sweetness of nearby flower beds, where roses and lavender bloomed in meticulous rows, a testament to the palace's timeless care. A school group from Manchester, their teacher in a green cardigan, scribbled notes about the guards, their excitement palpable as they sketched bearskin caps in their notebooks, while a group of Nigerian tourists, their attire vibrant, danced to a street busker's guitar, their laughter a melody of joy. Alice stood at his post, his body a statue, as protocol demanded motionless, silent, a sentinel of tradition etched in centuries of royal service. But his mind was a whirlwind of vigilance, his eyes sweeping the crowd with a precision honed in Kosovo, where he'd learned to spot fear in a fleeting glance, to read danger in a subtle posture, to hear a cry for help in the silence of a crowd. In Dwepidiving, during a peacekeeping mission, he'd comforted a young refugee girl, Amira, in a Pristina camp, her trembling hands clutching his as he knelt and promised, "You're safe with me." Her mother's tearful embrace, hours later, was a memory that steadied him now, a beacon in the routine of ceremonial duty, a reminder to look beyond the pomp and pageantry, to the human stories unfolding before him. His gaze settled on a girl standing apart from the festive crowd, her small form dwarfed by a man's tight grip, her presence a quiet dissonance in the evening's harmony, a shadow that demanded his attention. She was about 10, her dark skin glowing under the sunset's warm light, her braided hair adorned with colorful beads that clinked softly, her yellow dress neat but slightly creased, her posture rigid, as if braced against an invisible storm. Aisha, he would later learn her name, stood beside a man, Richard Holt, whose sharp gray suit and practiced smile contrasted sharply with the cold hardness in his pale eyes. A hardness that set Alice's instincts on edge. Holt's hand clasped Aisha's arm with a firmness that left no room for escape, his fingers digging into her skin, his body angled to shield her from the crowd's view, as if guarding a secret he couldn't afford to reveal. Aisha's brown eyes were wide with fear, her lips trembling, her gaze darting through the sea of tourists, until it locked onto Alice's scarlet tunic, a vivid beacon of hope in her silent panic. A symbol she instinctively trusted. Something was wrong. A gut instinct Alice had learned to trust through years of service, forged in moments when hesitation could cost lives, when a single glance could mean the difference between safety and tragedy. As Aisha reached for a dropped hair tie that fluttered to the gravel, her sleeve slipped, revealing a cluster of purple bruises on her arm, finger-shaped marks, stark and unmistakable against her dark skin. A silent scream of harm that pierced Alice's heart. Holt leaned close, his whisper harsh, audible to Alice's trained ears over the crowd's chatter. "Stay quiet, or you'll regret it." Aisha's voice, small but piercing, broke through the festive hum, a cry that cut through the noise like a blade. "He's not my dad." The words hit Alice like a gunshot, his heart lurching. His duty clearer than any protocol etched in the annals of royal tradition. "Stand still. Speak not. Engage only in extremis. For you, who've sensed danger in a fleeting moment, perhaps noticing a child's fear in a crowded park, a stranger's controlling grip in a busy shop, or a situation that screamed wrong in the pit of your stomach. Alice's alertness might recall a time when your instincts flared, when the world slowed and your heart demanded you move, when a silent plea became a call you couldn't ignore. Holt's grip tightened, his smile a brittle mask, as Aisha's cry lingered in the air, her eyes pleading with Alice, her small body shrinking under the man's control, her beads clinking faintly as she trembled. Protocol demanded stillness, an unyielding adherence to the ceremonial role of the royal guard. Remain a statue. Let security handle threats, preserve the dignity of the crown. But Aisha's plea, her bruises, her palpable fear were a call that transcended rules, a human cry that echoed Amira's whispered, "Help me," from that Kosovo camp years ago. Alice's mind raced, memories of his mother's lessons flooding back. Protector, David, always. The crowd, oblivious to the drama, continued their chatter, their phones trained on the palace's facade, their laughter drowning out Aisha's fear. But Ellie saw, his resolve hardening like steel forged in fire. He recalled a training session in 2022, where a child protection officer had taught him to spot signs of trafficking controlling posture. Forced compliance, bruises, hidden under sleeves, a child's eyes begging for rescue. Aisha's cry was a signal, her bruises a map of harm, her fear a beacon he couldn't ignore. He acted, his decision instantaneous, his body moving with the grace and precision of a soldier trained in crisis. He set his rifle down, its clatter against the palace stone echoing like a thunderclap, a sound that silenced the crowd's murmurs and drew every eye in the forecourt. He vaulted the low barrier with the agility of a man who'd navigated urban combat zones, his bearskin cap steady, his scarlet tunic a blur of motion that cut through the sunset's golden light, a vivid streak of courage against the palace's timeless backdrop. The tourists gasped, their phones rising like a wave, their voices a chorus of shock and awe. "He's moving." Is that allowed? What's happening? Ellis crossed the forecourt in long, purposeful strides, his eyes locked on Aisha, his voice calm but commanding, carrying the quiet authority of a man who'd faced danger and prevailed. "Let her go." Holt hesitated, his grip tightening on Aisha's arm, his voice sharp with a forced calm. "She's with me. Officer, this is a family matter. Mind your business." But Aisha's cry rang out again, louder now, fueled by Alice's presence. "He's not my dad. Please." Her words, raw and desperate, pierced the crowd's stunned silence, and Ellie stepped between them, his hand gentle but firm on Aisha's shoulder, his other arm restraining Holt with practiced control, his presence a fortress of protection that shielded Aisha from harm. "You're safe now," he told her, his tone soft, his brown eyes never leaving Holt's, daring him to resist. Memories surged Kosovo. Vikinje. Amira's trembling hand in his as he led her through a crowded camp to her mother's tearful embrace, a weight he carried now as Aisha clung to him, her sobs muffled against the coarse wool of his tunic, her beads pressing into his chest. "For you, who've acted for the vulnerable in a moment of crisis, perhaps shielding a child from harm, confronting a threat in a public place, or stepping in when others turned away. Alice's courage might mirror a moment when you became a refuge. When your heart answered a silent plea with decisive action, when compassion outweighed caution and became your only guide." The crowd erupted in a wave of sound, their phones capturing every second of the unfolding drama. The moment etched in the sunset's glow like a scene from a film, a testament to human courage in the heart of tradition. Videos spread across X like wildfire. Clips titled, "Royal Guard Saves Girl," and "Hero in Scarlet," trending within minutes. Hashtags, "Courage Unites," "Protectol," "Buckingham Hero," igniting feeds from London's bustling pubs to Lagos's vibrant markets, from Toronto's quiet suburbs to Cape Town's community centers. A tourist, Mrs. Clara Thompson, stood among the onlookers, her floral scarf bright against her cream blouse, her eyes glistening with pride as she watched Ellis shield Aisha, a retired schoolteacher from Kent. She spoke to a nearby reporter, her voice clear and warm. He saw her fear when no one else did. Bless him, her words carried to other tourists. Her nod a beacon of approval that sparked murmurs of agreement. A true hero. He didn't care about her color, just her safety. But not all approved. Some traditionalists in the crowd whispered dissent. He broke protocol. Guards aren't supposed to move. A man in a tweed jacket muttered, "This isn't their job." His frown a shadow in the evening's light. Holt struggled against Ellis's grip, his voice rising in defiance. "This is a mistake. She's my niece." But Aisha's cries, her bruises, her fear, told a different story, one that Ellis's instincts had read correctly. Palace security officer Captain Michael Henshaw arrived, his boots clicking sharply on the gravel, his radio crackling with urgency. Child welfare issue, main gate, requesting police support. Henshaw, a 40-year-old veteran who'd served alongside Ellis in Kosovo, assessed the scene with a practiced eye, his nod brief but resolute. "You did right, David. Hold him." Police arrived swiftly, their presence discreet to avoid alarming the tourists, their officers approaching with calm authority, their questions pointed and precise. "Sir, can you confirm your relationship to the child? Do you have documentation?" Holt's story began to unravel under their scrutiny. He was Richard Holt, a trafficker posing as Aisha's guardian, his control rooted in threats and coercion, his network part of a larger ring targeting vulnerable children. Aisha clung to Ellis, her tears falling freely now, her small body pressed against his tunic, her whisper barely audible over the crowd's hum. "Thank you, sir." Ellis knelt, his bearskin cap towering over her, his voice soft and steady, the same tone he'd used with Amira years ago. "You're safe now. Aisha, we've got you. You're not alone." He brushed a tear from her cheek, his gloved hand gentle, his heart aching for the fear she'd endured, his resolve unshaken by the weight of his actions. "For you, who faced consequences for doing what's right, perhaps risking a job to protect someone, defying rules to uphold justice, or standing firm under scrutiny for a cause greater than yourself." Ellis's resolve might recall a moment when a child's safety was worth any cost, when compassion became your only protocol, when a single act of courage became a lifeline for someone in need. The videos of Ellis's act went viral, exalite with posts that amplified the story to millions across the globe. "A guard's compassion unites us," and he saw beyond color to save her. Comments flooded in, a chorus of awe and gratitude that transcended borders, risked his post for a black girl he didn't know. True hero. This is what guards should be. Protectors of all. Proud to be British today. A Lagos student tweeted, "He saved Aisha like she was his own daughter. Bless him." A Toronto teacher wrote, "Showing my class this tomorrow. Kindness has no borders." A Cape Town social worker shared, "Inspired our team to look closer for signs of trafficking." The footage, vivid in the sunset's golden light, captured every detail: Ellis's rifle clattering to the ground, his leap over the barrier, his gentle shield over Aisha, the crowd's gasps and cheers, Mrs. Thompson's tearful nod, Holt's arrest. The story dominated news cycles, from BBC broadcaster to Al Jazeera reports, each framing Ellis as a symbol of compassion in action, a guard who saw a child, not a rule. Aisha was taken to safety by social services, her immediate needs met at a nearby station, where a child protection officer wrapped her in a blanket and offered hot chocolate, her small hand steadying as she sipped. She was placed with her foster family in Camden, a warm couple, Rachel and Jamal, whose cozy home was filled with love, laughter, and the scent of homemade meals. Rachel sent Ellis a letter, accompanied by Aisha's drawing of a guard in a scarlet tunic holding a girl's hand. The words "My hero" scrawled in bright crayon. Dear Sergeant Ellis, you gave us our daughter. Aisha smiles because of you. Forever grateful, Rachel. Ellis read the letter in the quiet of his barracks, his scarlet tunic folded neatly on his bunk, his heart swelling with a pride deeper than any medal. The bearskin cap resting nearby, a silent witness to the life he'd changed. He pinned Aisha's drawing to his locker, its colors, a daily reminder of why he served, why he stood at his post, why he listened to the unseen. The palace convened an urgent review of Ellis's actions, a board of senior officers gathering in a wood-paneled room within Buckingham Palace, their faces stern, their questions probing. Why break protocol? Sergeant, your role is ceremonial, not operational. Ellis stood tall, his uniform immaculate, his voice steady and unapologetic. I saw a child in danger. Sire, I do it again. Her safety was my duty. Protocol or not, Captain Henshaw testified on his behalf, his voice firm. He saved a life. Gentlemen, that's the true duty of any soldier. Guard or not, the board debated, weighing tradition against humanity, protocol against compassion. Some argued for dismissal, citing the sanctity of the guard's ceremonial role. Others, moved by Aisha's story and the public's outcry, pushed for leniency. In the end, Ellis received a formal reprimand for breaching protocol, but was spared dismissal. His act deemed an exceptional response to an extraordinary situation. He was required to undergo additional training on protocol boundaries, but his post was restored, a testament to the palace's recognition of his courage, however reluctantly given. Henshaw clapped his shoulder afterward, his smile rare but genuine. You did us proud, David. Aisha's smile is worth more than any rulebook. Ellis nodded, his thoughts on Aisha, on the bruises he'd seen, on the cry he couldn't ignore, her drawing a talisman he carried in his heart. For you, who face judgment for doing right, perhaps a reprimand for bending rules to help someone, a challenge for prioritizing humanity over policy, or scrutiny for acting on instinct. Ellis's stand might echo a moment when you held firm, when a child's safety or a stranger's need was worth any consequence, when your heart's compass guided you through the storm. The public's response was a tidal wave of support, a global outpouring that transformed Ellis's act into a movement for unity and compassion. Letters poured into Buckingham Palace, envelopes bearing stamps from Cornwall to Karachi, their words a vibrant tapestry of gratitude and shared stories. A Birmingham primary school sent a card, its cover a collage of children's drawings, guards in scarlet, girls with braids, hearts in bright colors with "Thank you, hero," written in glitter. A Kosovo veteran who'd served with Ellis in 20 wrote, "You saved Amira then. Aisha now. Your heart never changes." Mate, a London foster carer shared, "My boy was trafficked. Like Aisha, your story gives us hope, shows kids they're seen." X post multiplied, "With courage unites and protect all," joined by Buckingham hero and unity in action. Users sharing their own stories of compassion helped a scared kid at the park, inspired by Ellis. A Manchester father tweeted, "Trained my staff to spot trafficking signs, thanks to this guard." A Bristol social worker posted, "Stood up for a classmate being bullied because of him." A Nairobi teen shared, "The videos, sharp in the sunset's glow, were shared millions of times." Their comments a global chorus. "He didn't see her color, just her fear. This is what humanity looks like." Ellis is all our hero. A campaign, Protect All, launched in partnership with child protection charities like the NSPCC and ETIPAT. Its mission, to train communities to recognize signs of trafficking and abuse, to act with courage like Ellis did. Posters appeared at schools, tube stations, and community centers across the UK, featuring a guard's silhouette in scarlet, and the words, see the fear, act with heart. The campaign spread internationally, with translations in Yoruba, Urdu, and Spanish. Its message resonating in Lagos, Delhi, and São Paulo, where community groups adopted its training, their leaders citing Ellis as their spark. Ellis spoke at the campaign's launch in a packed London community centre, his scarlet tunic bright under the glare of camera flashes, his voice steady and humble. Aisha's cry was a call we can't ignore. Protect all. Always color. Class, creed don't matter. See the fear. Act with heart. The crowd cheered, their signs reading thank you, David, and protect all. Their applause a wave that carried the campaign's message nationwide. From bustling city centers to quiet coastal towns, a plaque, David Ellis Gate, was unveiled at Buckingham Palace's main entrance, its bronze surface gleaming in the morning sun, its inscription simple yet profound, for Sergeant David Ellis, guardian of compassion. The unveiling drew hundreds tourists, locals, veterans, and Aisha's foster family, who clapped as Ellis cut the ribbon. His smile shy but genuine. Murals sprang up, each a vibrant testament to his act. In Brixton, a colorful depiction of Ellis and Aisha, hand in hand, the word unity in bold letters. In Lagos, a guard in scarlet, holding a child. Protect all painted in Yoruba. In Toronto, a scarlet tunic against a maple leaf. Compassion knows no borders. Aisha thrived in her new home, her laughter filling Rachel and Jamal's Camden Terrace house, her bedroom adorned with drawings of guards and sunsets, her confidence growing with every day. She wrote to Ellis, her handwriting neat. Dear Mr. David, you're my hero. I'm safe because of you. Love, Aisha. Rachel enclosed a photo of Aisha smiling, her braids adorned with new beads, her eyes bright with hope. Ellis read the letter in his barracks, his tunic folded, his eyes misty, the words sinking into his heart like a melody. He pinned the photo beside Aisha's drawing, their colors a daily reminder of his purpose, a spark that lit his every shift. Ellis took on a new role, training his fellow guards in child protection and situational awareness. His sessions held in the palace barracks, his voice steady, see the unseen, act for all. A child's fear doesn't follow protocol. His training manual, co-developed with the NSPCC, became standard for the guards, its pages citing Aisha's story as a case study, its message clear. Compassion is duty. His mother, Gloria, visited him at the palace. Her hug fierce, her nurse's scrubs swapped for a bright dress. Her pride evident. You made me proud, David, just like I knew you would. She brought a homemade pie, her laughter filling the barracks. My boy, saving the world in that fancy hat. Ellis chuckled, his heart full, his mother's love a balm for the weight of duty. His mates in the guards, once prone to teasing his serious demeanor, now called him Heart, with a mix of jest and respect, their banter softened by pride. You've gone and changed the job, Dave, Buone said, grinning, but their eyes held a new reverence, their salutes sharper when he passed. Aisha's foster family invited him to dinner, the table laden with curry and laughter. Aisha's hug tight as she sat beside him, her voice bright. You're my guard, Mr. David. She showed him her latest drawing. A guard in scarlet, a girl with braids, a sunset glowing behind them. Ellis ruffled her hair, his smile wide. You're my hero, Aisha. Keep shining. Rachel and Jamal clasped his hands, their gratitude unspoken but clear. Their home, a haven where Aisha's joy was proof of his impact. The palace, stirred by the global response, revised the guard protocols, incorporating child welfare training and authorizing limited intervention in emergencies. A historic shift dubbed Ellis's rule in internal memos. The change was announced quietly, but X erupted with approval. The Royal Guards are protectors now. One user posted. The sentiment echoed thousands of times. The Protect All campaign grew, its reach extending to schools, where teachers used Aisha's story to teach empathy, and to police stations, where officers adopted Alice's vigilance. In Manchester, a community center launched the Safe Eyes program, training volunteers to spot trafficking signs. Its logo, a scarlet tunic, its mission inspired by Alice's courage. In Glasgow, a charity run raised 15 for child protection, its runners wearing red ribbons. Their chant, for Aisha, for Elise, echoing through the streets. In Cardiff, a school adopted Aisha Days, teaching students to recognize distress signals. Their classrooms filled with drawings of guards and girls. Their teacher writing to Elise, "You've changed how our kids see safety." Internationally, the story crossed borders, with a Nigerian news outlet running a feature, British Guards' Kindness sparks global call to protect kids. A Brazilian charity emailed the palace, "We're training our youth workers, inspired by your guard." Churches held vigils, from small Cornish chapels to grand York cathedrals, their sermons drawing on Alice's compassion. He saw a child, not a rule. Let's be his eyes. A Bristol priest shared, "Your story teaches us to act with love, to protect all, to unite." Elise's mates, now his staunchest supporters, organized a barracks fundraiser for the Protect All campaign. Their laughter warm as they teased, "Hearts gone global." Lads, his sister, Chloe, a teacher in Leeds, visited, her hug tight. "You're making Mom insufferable." Dave, "She's telling everyone you're a star." Gloria, sent carry packages, socks, biscuits, a note. "My boy, you've always seen the unseen." Alice volunteered at a London youth center, teaching kids about safety and kindness. His lessons laced with warmth. "You're stronger than you know, and you're never alone." The kids' drawings of guards in scarlet covered the center's walls, a vibrant gallery of hope. A girl, Maya, whose stepfather had been abusive, hugged Alice, her whisper echoing Aisha's, "You're my hero too." Alice knelt, his voice soft, "You're the brave one." Maya, his commanding officer, Major Sarah Patel, called him to her office, her smile genuine. "You've redefined what a guard can be." Alice, the crown's proud. She handed him a commendation, its parchment crisp. But Alice's thoughts were on Aisha, on her drawing, on the duty that had guided him. The ripple of Alice's act continued, reshaping communities, saving lives, uniting hearts. In Birmingham, a social worker launched a support group for trafficked children, its meetings filled with kids sharing their fears and dreams, their hopes sparked by a guard's courage. In Edinburgh, a charity run raised 20 pounds, London for child welfare, its runners chanting, "Protect all." Their banners, red and gold. In London, a mural in Camden depicted Alice and Aisha, fist to heart. The words "Unity in Action" in bold. Its artist citing Alice as a call to compassion. Schools adopted Aisha Days nationwide. Students practicing distress signals. Teachers inspired by the guard who saw fear and acted. A Liverpool student wrote, "I told my teacher about my cousin's fear. Because of you, she's safe now." Churches held services on protection, their congregations filled with people like you, who saw in Alice a reflection of their own struggles to notice, to care, to act. A York vicar shared, "Your story reminds us to see the invisible, to hear the silent, to be the help a child needs." X posts grew, with Protect All and Courage Unites joined by Alice Legacy. Users sharing stories. "Helped a neighbor's kid because of Alice." A Dublin mom wrote, "Started a safety program." Inspired by him, a Delhi teacher posted, "The palace, in its timeless grace, stood as a symbol of tradition, upheld, but also of change. Forged by compassion, a god's leap, a girl's cry, a world awakened to the power of unity. Ellis stood at his post in the quiet of another evening, the palace aglow under a canopy of twilight, its flags fluttering gently in the breeze. Aisha's letter, creased from carrying it, rested in his pocket, her words a steady pulse. You're my hero. He thought of Amira, of Maya, of every child whose fear he'd eased, whose trust he'd earned. The tourists passed, their smiles warmer now, their children waving at him, their parents whispering his story. That's the guard who saved the girl. A young girl, about Aisha's age, approached with her mother, her voice shy. Are you the hero guard? Ellis, bound by protocol, couldn't speak, but his eyes softened, his nod slight but clear. The mother smiled, her hand on her daughter's shoulder. Thank you for keeping us safe. For you, who've listened to a silent plea, perhaps aiding a child in distress, challenging a controlling presence, or acting with heart when others hesitated. Ellis's story is a call to remember the power of compassion, the strength of action, the courage to see fear and move. His act invites you to share your own stories with your family, your friends, your community, over a cup of tea, in a letter, at a gathering where memories are woven into hope. Write them. Tell them. Let them live in the spaces where love takes root and unity grows. The global impact of Ellis's act continued to unfold, its ripples saving lives and forging connections across continents. In Lagos, a community center trained volunteers to spot trafficking. Their logo, a guard's silhouette. Their mission inspired by Ellis's vigilance. In São Paulo, a youth group raised funds for child protection, their t-shirts reading Protect All, their leader quoting Ellis in a local paper. He saw what we miss. Let's be his eyes. In Toronto, a school launched a Unity Week, teaching students about compassion across cultures, their principal citing Aisha's story as their guide. Internationally, a South African charity started a safety program, its workers wearing red ribbons in Ellis's honor, while a Delhi NGO trained police with Ellis's manual, their chief emailing the palace. Your guard's courage saves our children. Murals multiplied in Accra, a vibrant wall with Ellis and Aisha. Compassion in Twi. In Melbourne, a Scarlet Guard with Protect All in bold. X posts grew, users sharing stories. Helped a lost kid because of Ellis, a Tokyo nurse wrote. Started a community watch, inspired by him. A Miami activist posted. Aisha's foster family sent updates, their letters filled with her progress. Her first school play, her new friends, her dreams of being a nurse like Gloria. Rachel wrote, she talks about you every day. David, you're her North Star. Ellis visited them, his civilian clothes a contrast to his tunic. His presence met with Aisha's joyful hug and Jamal's firm handshake. Your family now, Jamal said, his eyes warm. Ellis's mates, now his brothers in arms, held a barracks party for the Protect All campaign, their toast to heart filled with pride. Chloe, his sister, called from Leeds, her voice teasing. You're a global star, Dave. Mama's telling the whole hospital. Gloria visited again. Her care packages a ritual tea. Biscuits. A note. My David, you've always seen the unseen. Keep shining. Ellis volunteered weekly at the youth center. His stories of Aisha laced with hope. You can be someone's hero just by seeing them. The kids' drawings multiplied, their guards and girls a vibrant testament to his impact. Major Patel, his commanding officer, invited him to brief new recruits. His presence a lesson in duty. Ellis showed us compassion is our strength. The palace gates, now marked by the David Ellis Gate plaque, drew visitors, their photos shared on X. Their captions a refrain, compassion in scarlet. Aisha's story, with Rachel's consent, became a cornerstone of the Protect All campaign. Its message resonating, see the fear, act with heart, protect with love. Charities reported a surge in helpline calls, children like Aisha finding safety. Their voices heard because of a guard's courage. Would you act with compassion? Alice's courage shows that duty is heart, that kindness unites, that a single act can change the world. Share your story. Have you protected someone? United across divides, acted with heart. Subscribe for more tales of heroism and unity. And join us in raising awareness. Protect all. Act with heart. United with love. Click the notification bell to stay updated. And share this story with someone who believes in kindness without borders. In a guard's calling that shines with hope beyond the palace walls. Let's honor the duty that listens, the courage that acts, and the love that saves, in a story that echoes through time. A testament to the heart of a guard who saw, cared, and changed everything.